You need to go back. Okay. So my name is Nathanael Hodson, and my speech is on chocolate, about the history of chocolate, the health of chocolate, and why we crave it. Judith Borst once said, "Strength is the capacity to break a bar of chocolate into a bunch of little pieces, then only eat one of those pieces." So if I gave each of you a bar of chocolate, had you break it into a bunch of little pieces, and only let you eat one of them, you would be very happy. As humans in America, we love to eat chocolate, but we never know anything about it. If I was to ask you what you knew about chocolate, most people would just say that they knew it had something to do with the Mayans or the Aztecs. According to Amanda Benson from the Smithsonian, she says that chocolate dates back more than 2,000 years ago. 90% of its history was in the form of a drink. The drink, when the Europeans and Spaniards came to America, they described the drink as really, really bitter, and so they didn't like it at all. 4 names that chocolate has is the cacao bean, which is just this, or the cacao fruit, and then the Aztecs called this part zacahuatl, and then chocolate after it's been processed is just called chocolate, which is what we know it as. The Latin word for the cacao tree is Theombra cacao, which means fruit of the gods, which shows how much they cherish the chocolate fruit. They even used it as currency. One of the little beans could be traded for a tamale, and 100 of them could be traded for a turkey or hen. Dr. Arden from Harvard discovered that Hans Sloane, who was a personal physician of Queen Anne, is the one that decided to put milk in chocolate. And as soon as he did that, it became only a drink of the rich until the invention of the steam engine was produced, and they could mass produce the chocolate for everyone. Hans Sloane was also the guy that started Cadbury chocolate, and that's the chocolate we know at Easter when they make little eggs with the fudge and stuff inside. You can go ahead. This is Hans Sloane, and then the Aztecs and Mayans believed that chocolate had tons of health benefits, and today we've proved it. 2 words that are related to chocolate are flavonoids and flavonols. Flavonoids are a chemical that's in a ton of fruits and vegetables and the chocolate cocoa bean, which help to protect the fruit or whatever it is from toxins in the outside world. And then flavonols are the type of flavonoid that chocolate has. Out of the group of things that have flavonol in them, chocolate has the highest amount, and the most important thing from flavonols is the antioxidants that it provides. And antioxidants are what helps your immune system and boosts it. Dr. Arden also did a study that he had 3 groups of people eat 3 different kinds of chocolate, and he gave them so much of each. The first group he gave dark chocolate, which showed tons of boosted signs of the antioxidants, and their immune systems were way better than those of the others. The people that were given milk chocolate showed that the milk chocolate canceled out all of the antioxidants that the dark chocolate gave, and then the people that were given white chocolate gained nothing at all from it. The drawback to that research is that the amount of chocolate that they were given had 500 calories in it, and so if you were to eat that much chocolate every day, you would gain almost a pound a week. So if you really were to try and get health from chocolate, chocolate wouldn't be the best way to get antioxidants. It'd be better to get it in forms of, I guess, pills and stuff like that. Chocolate has 2 amino acids in it that cause two different hormones to be released in your body. Adrenaline, which is what we know as when you get really, really excited and pumped up for some sports or game. But The adrenaline that is given off in your body when you eat chocolate is more of a stress hormone, so it just calms you down. And then dopamine is another hormone that gets released, and that's the chemical that releases like the feelings of pleasure and happiness. The dopamine is also what causes most people to want to eat more chocolate, and that's one of the reasons people crave it, because they remember that feeling the dopamine gave them. About 40% of women and 15% of men have reported that they crave chocolate. So there's definitely a difference in between men and women who crave it. There's cravings that aren't linked to chemicals, and those are, some people say they like it just because of the taste. They like it because since birth they've been rewarded by being given sweets and stuff, and so chocolate's something that they just go for once they do something that, like they'll reward themselves for something they've done. Sometimes it's a time of day that they give it. I know I personally, like at 5 o'clock, I used to always eat chocolate. It's crazy, but I did. And so, I don't know why, but it's a time of day. It can be related to things that you eat. Even the smeller side of it has done it. Looking at that, it makes you crave chocolate for sure. Jim Spadaccini from the Exploratorium said that we also want chocolate when we need to pick me up. So like I said, that dopamine, that we remember that feeling of happiness. And then he also said that sometimes we get a deficiency of those certain antioxidants, and that's why maybe we'll crave that chocolate. So whether you crave it or not, though, is going to be up to you, because everyone's different. Chocolate's been around, like I said, for over 2,000 years. It gives us tons of antioxidants, and it creates that feeling of pleasure. Alexandra Leaf often calls chocolate the most well-known food that nobody knows anything about. So now, hopefully, you know more about chocolate, so when somebody asks you, do you know anything about chocolate's history, you'll be able to tell them that you do know more.